In this video, we're going to learn about the user personalization available on the Fiori Launchpad. The topics we'll be covering, they are the login and password reset, home screen, tile and business group overview, user personalization, zoom in and zoom out, object page, my inbox, export data to Excel file, view settings, save as tile option, email data in a tile. Before we start, I want to tell you that these are the standard business roles that are assigned to my user ID in SU01. So I'll talk more about the roles, customizing and all that in the later videos. But the reason I'm telling you right now is because if in case you're practicing on your own server, then please do assign these roles if you want to see a screen similar to my screen, if you are practicing as well. So just copy these roles and you'll be able to see all the similar tiles that I can see in my Fiori Launchpad. So first of all, we'll start with login and password reset. So as in one of the previous video, I discussed that when you log in, you will be asked whether you log into the GUI on the right hand side or whether you log into the Fiori Launchpad. You will need to have enter your user ID and password, but over there you can also see a change password option. So here as in the screen you can see also the new password icon when you log into the GUI. So you can click on it, it will ask you the current password, then it will ask you for the new password, and then you can reset. So that's pretty straightforward for the login password reset if you want. Now we'll move on to discussion about the home screen, tile and tile groups. So what are the tile groups? What are the tile? What are on the home screen? So let's have a look. So here in this screen you can see these the white square ones. These are called tiles. These are also called tiles, or these are also called as app or Fiori app. Same thing. So these apps are combined under a thing called tile group, or if you want to call it a tile, these white ones, if you want to call it a tile, then these tile are assigned under a tile group. So for example, here if you see this tile group, ERP vendor governance has 2 tiles that are displayed on my home screen. If you look at the business partner tile group, you will see there is only one tile, which is manage business partner data, linked to this tile group. And on the top as well, you can see all those tile groups, and you can click on any tile group and jump to that tile group, and that will show you the relevant tiles within that group. So let's see this one on the Fiori Launchpad. So here, so that's my home screen. So here, the things on the top you can see. So here you can see contract account governance, consolidation and mass processing for business partner data, mass maintenance, and all these. If I can click on this down arrow, you can see all the tile groups, and you can directly jump to, from here you can directly jump to any tile group, or you can click on this little arrow, which is a scroll to end, and it will keep on moving to the right hand side like this. So that's your home screen. And home screen, depending on what access do you have from your SU01 access, you will be able to see those tiles only and those tile groups only. So these tile groups, for example, if I directly jump to, if I want to jump to say purchasing analyst tile group, so under purchasing analyst, you will be able to see all the tiles that are linked under this group. So same way I can click on any group here, for example, and I can straight away jump to that group. So here you can see this, for example, in this one, this is when it will open the screen, it will refresh the screen. For example, here when you see this one, for example, invoice variance. If you see this tile, as soon as you open it, it will refresh. For now it's saying it was refreshed 2 hours ago because I was logged in 2 hours back on the Fiori Launchpad. just to have a look, but I did not log off. So that's why it's showing you 2 hours ago. But as soon as you first time you log in using your password and ID, system will refresh without you running as any special transaction for this one. So that's the beauty about this this HANA system, that as soon as you log in, all the data will be refreshed immediately. You can also manually refresh. For example, I'm logged in here from the last 2 hours, system is not refreshing. I can click on this little refresh button and system will start refreshing it and show you the latest data. But the thing is, as soon as you jump to any tile group, you want to see the tiles after you log in, system will immediately show you the current the latest data on that tile by refreshing it. So you don't need to run any report, anything like that. Everything will refresh in front of you immediately. So that's the thing. Some of the tiles I think I try to refresh before, because here you can see the one, another one was 3 hours ago. Some it's refreshing now. That's also depend on some UI5 setting as well. So that's your tiles within the tile. So all these white ones here, you can see they are tiles and they are linked to the tile group purchasing analyst. So same thing, you can jump to any, for example, supplier evaluation, or I can jump to, say, for example, if I go to purchase order processing, you can see those tiles here under purchase order processing. So again, technically this purchase order processing is your tile group, and this is also known as business group. So some people also call it business group, so don't get confused. Business groups and tile groups are same thing. And these are the apps, or these are the, or also known as the tiles. So that's a tiles screen. So let's move forward. Now we'll talk about the zoom in and zoom out. So on the screen, you can zoom in and zoom out. So here, if I go to the Chrome setting, here you can see my zoom setting is 125%. I can click on plus sign and it will be bigger. So depending how you want to see the tiles, if it's too small for you, too big for you, you can make the adjustment, and that's your user specific setting only, and that means that not going to affect other users. So I can say zoom, it's asking for password, so let me re-log in again. So my setting here is save to I'll make it 125, and also you can go to the setting here. If I go to this setting for the Chrome browser, it will pop up another window here. So here you will be able to see more settings. For example, like your default, say, page zoom. So 110% is the default one here. I'll make it mine for 125%. Also, if the font size, for example, you can make it small or big. If you think it's too small, you want to make it larger, you can change it here. So once you are done, that's it, and we can just close it, and that's all. So I will, for my setting, I will leave it to 125%, and that's a good view for me. So that's how you can adjust your size of the tiles. Now we'll discuss about the object page. So what is object page? Whenever you open any vendor, any customer, any transaction like purchase order, purchase requisition, contract, invoice, sales order, they all called object page. So these object page are basically provide you a quick navigation to the related areas and also the follow-on function. For example, if I show you here, if I straight away jump to, say, I'll open a, say, transaction purchase order. If I go to this tile group, purchase order processing, here if I search for manage purchase order, I'll open one more screen so that we can have a quick access to other objects as well if we want. And here, for example, I created IKO vendor related purchase orders. So here these are the orders. So here, for example, if I open this first one, purchase order, so this is called the object page. So this is the object page for the purchase order. Same way you can have the object page for the supplier or the vendor, or you can have it for the goods receipt as well. So here you can see in under this object page, we already discussed this page before, so I will not go again into the same detail. I can scroll down here, you can see all the data within the purchase order. But let me go up, and within this order there's some quick navigation. For example, that's the supplier. I can click on the link and I can jump to the supplier master data. So if I click on it, I can straight away jump to the supplier master data. It's asking me what I want to do. I can click on display supplier, for example. It will go and jump to display supplier. So there's a beauty about this system as well with the Fiori Launchpad, that you do not need to run different transaction, or you do not need to remember transaction like earlier in the GUI. You need to open a vendor. You can probably, you need to open the XK02 or XK03 transaction, and then you need to type in the vendor number, and then only you can jump to that screen. But here there are all the links are available. You can click on it, and you can jump to that screen. So let me open another screen here. By the time it's opening, it's a bit slow, but that's fine. If I go to purchase order processing again, I'll open it again. I'll search for IKO again. I'll open second purchase order. So within purchase order, so you have different links. For example, also you have the link for the material master. Here if I click on this link, this blue one is the link. So if I click on this link, it will jump to the material master. Same thing. And also there's some follow-on function like we have seen before, that you can see. It's not showing up in this one, but you can see the follow-on function, and you can jump to that as well. Like it's showing you the purchase order, or the let me show you that if you want. Let me go back. Let me check purchase order items. So if I search for same IKO, press enter. It's asking me for mandatory field, so it's asking for the currency. I'll say USD, press enter. And if I say go, so like this, it doesn't show me here as well the thing I'm looking for. Let me go back. Supplier invoice processing. Let me check this. If I click on supplier invoice list, if I search for IKO, if I click on one of them, so this is also like I'm opening a supplier invoice, so this is also an object page. So let me scroll down if I can find it. Not here, but it should be in the item details. So if I click on this under the item, if I click on this little arrow, it will jump to the item detail. Yeah, here you can see this. So here you can see the document for between the purchase order, item, goods receipt, and invoice. So you can click on any of them, and for example, if I click on this goods receipt, it will straight away jump to the goods receipt. So that means it's very quick. It's easy to use. You don't need to remember any transaction and all that. So Let me go back to this screen. So here we are for some reason still trying to open the supplier. So let me go back. There could be some issue with the screen. I'll talk about fixing all these issues that we can later on. So that's the object overview page. Now we'll discuss about the My Inbox app. So what My Inbox app is, so within My Inbox app, you will be able to see anything that is assigned to my user ID. For example, it can be a approval for an invoice, it can be approving a purchase requisition, can be approving a contract, anything like that that is linked to my ID. So here if I show you this app, so here if I go to the home page again, and if I search for it here, here it is. So manager approval My Inbox. So I do have access to this one. So here if I that's the tile for My Inbox. If I click on it, showing you 11, there are 11 objects waiting for my approval. If I click on it, you can see these are the invoicing document that are linked to my ID. That means they are waiting for my approval. So these are the ones that I created as a part of Miro, that I created some orders before. So here if I can click on any of them, it will open the screen for that one on the right hand side. For example, I click on the second one, it will open the second one, show the document number. You can click on this, for example, click on this link, it's showing the incoming invoice. You can again click on this link, it will try to open the link in a different tab. And here it's showing you the GUI type transaction. So it's using the WebDin Pro. I'll talk about this in the later videos later on. You can have all the details here. Once you're happy, I can close it probably for now. And then I'm here. Once I'm happy, then I can at the bottom you can see all the buttons here. For example, here is approve button, reject, claim, forward, suspend, open task. For example, I can click on open task, it will open a task. For example, it show you approve, reject and all that. So let me close it. So let me simply approve it. If I approve it, it will disappear from my list. So at the moment I got 11 items, it will disappear. I can click on approve, and I'll say if you want to add some notes here, I can do it. I can say approved or whatever you want to put text here, and I submit, done. Now you can see on the top I got 10 only left. So one is gone from my inbox. Here this is search option. If you want, you can search by text or something like that. I can search by say ICO, it doesn't show the for ICO, but any by document number, by year, stuff like that. You can search by that. So that's the My Inbox. So if I'm supposed to approve any purchase requisition, contract, stuff like that, then they will also appear here and I can approve it and they can move to the next stage. Now we'll talk about the user personalization, which is one of the very important topic for this video. So when we talk about the user personalization, let me go to the home page first. I click on this little button on the top left hand side. When you click on it, it will open this window. So let's discuss one by one. So here at the bottom you can see the recent activity. So it will show you the recent activity done by my ID. So here the recent activity was just now my inbox I opened. Before that I opened manage purchase order. Before that I can click open the display supplier, search and all that. So I can scroll down, I can see all the stuff that are under my name. So if you want, you can click on this link again. For example, my inbox. If I click on it, it will take me to the my inbox screen. If I click on it, let me click on it. It will jump to the my inbox screen again. So you can also jump from here. If you forget about something that you recently were on a screen, you don't know what it was, then you can click on it and go back to that screen again. And here the second one is frequently used. If I click on this tab, frequently used, so these are the apps that are more frequently used by me. So again, you can click on any of these apps or links, it will take you to that screen straight away. Now we'll discuss about App Finder. So what is App Finder? If I click on App Finder, so depending on the access that I'm given via SU01 profile, I will have access to a lot of different catalogs. So not all of them are appearing on the home page. For example, if I go to my home page, under every tile group, for example, this tile group, I can see supplier invoice processing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 tiles only. But in actual, there can be more than 8 tiles behind the screen. But here only 8 are visible, but behind the screen there can be more than 8, and they are deactivated. So we can manually activate them here just for my user ID, not for everyone, just for my user ID, and that will be only visible for me. I can remove any of this tile that I don't want to see, and I can add from the setting that I'm going to show you now. So this way I can remove what I don't want to see, and I can add that I want to see. So I can have a custom setting. So if I again go back to the App Finder, for example, if I click on, say, let's pick this example, say supplier invoice processing. So on the left hand side, you will see all the catalogs. So if you find something called supplier invoice processing or similar, so here it's showing you the catalog name basically. I can't say anything called something, that's the one, probably that's another one, account payable supplier. For example, if I click on it, it will show me all these, for example, all these tiles. So here you can see this blue, some of the tiles got blue link. If I put the cursor on this one, it will disappear. If I remove it, it will appear then. So this blue link means these are visible on my home page, on my front screen. But for example, this one, it doesn't show anything. That means this one is deactivated. So I can, from here, I can activate and deactivate anything. For example, if I want to say, if you look at here, say, let's take this example, monitor purchase order down payment. Here, if the monitor purchase order down payment, if I uncheck this one, say, click on this, and here it's asking me where you want to put. I don't want to put anywhere. Let me close it. It won't do it from this screen. It will be doing from another screen. From here, I can put it to any screen, but let me scroll down. You can see it's already linked to this one. Yes, now we can do it from here as well. There are 2-3 options to do this. If I check this box, for example, and save it, it will disappear from there. If you check another box, for example, here, it will appear within that tile group. If I uncheck this, and if I close it, now you can see it's not blue anymore. It's not blue anymore. That means it will disappear. But again, you can come back, you can assign it to more than one group. For example, you want to assign to this and this, like that. So I will not do it. I will go back and I can remove it. So now it's not linked to any of my tile group. So if I go here, if I go back here, if I refresh it, it should disappear. Let it refresh. Also, in the meantime, I'll tell you, for example, if you click on all, and then you can also search for it. For example, you can search by a name. For example, I want to call it purchase something, purchase anything starting with purchase, or create purchase order, for example. It will search for it, create purchase, and if you click on this search button or press enter, it will go and search for it. So there are 2 apps that are, one for create purchase order, there is one create purchase order advanced. What is advanced? I'll talk about in the other video later on. So here you can also search for it. For example, if you want to search for supplier, so I don't know if I got access to this supplier, and I want to search here, that if I got access to that, I can search for supplier, and it will show me anything that got the text as supplier, so like that. So you can search for anything like that. So if I go back here and if I jump to that group, supplier invoice processing, so here you can see there is one gone, so only 7 are left out of 8. So that's how you can remove, add whatever you want. So you can do from this catalog screen that you have access. Again, as I said before, everyone in the real-time scenario, everyone will have different access to different catalogs depending on their role. So let me go back here to the setting. So we covered the app finder. Now let me go to the home page and I'll come back. And now if I come back here, okay, now we'll go to, so that's a sign out, that's straightforward. You can just straight away sign out from here. And but when you close the thing I noticed, when you close the browser and you can ask Chrome to remember a password, and you close the browser, next time you straight away open the browser, it will remember a password. So that's very handy. And now if I go to the settings, so it will show me some settings that are available here. So first one is a user account. So here it will show me my user ID, my email ID that is signed to SU01 profile, and the server name and all that. Then it's loading for appearance. So if I click on appearance, so appearance is like how you want to see the color of the screen. So we got only few available. So one is SAP Belize, Lies Deep, SAP High Contrast, or white, or High Contrast White. So this is a profile selected for my one. If I select, say blackish ones, if I select this one and if I save it, you will see my screen will go all blackish. See, it's all blackish. So you can select out of any of these profiles. So again, if I go back to my setting and setting again, I go to appearance, I'll change to the other one, which is SAP Belize Deep. If I save it, now it's back to the normal screen. Go back to setting again, settings. Okay, so here we are, and you can scroll down. There's another thing called display setting, or you can also click on this tab, display setting. Same thing. This cozy content spacing, that's grayed out, which I have no idea what it does. And also this animation, that doesn't make much difference with my screen, so I have no idea why they do not work. So I'll leave it like that. Now if I go to the third one, home page. What is home page? So here's saying that home page display, do you want to show all contents, or do you want to show one group at a time? So what that means is, for example, if I select this one and if I say save, it will only display one group at a time on the home page. See, whatever group, if I click on this group, it will only select those tiles only. Or if I jump to purchasing analyst, it will only show you that tile, but it got so many tiles, it doesn't show you much. For example, if I go back to the other ones, supplier invoice processing, that has seven apps. So here only showing you 7 apps. It doesn't show you the one linked to the next tile group at the bottom. So because we have deactivated that option, if I go back to the setting, if I click on setting again, and here go to home page, and if I select show all contents, save it. Now now you can see, now it's showing you all the tiles linked to all the groups within the home page screen. So you can select your setting from here. Then we got language and region. So here this setting is coming from your SU01 profile, your language, your date format, your time format and all that. User activity, here you can track my recent activity and frequently used app. You can by default CS, you can turn it off if you want. Clear my history, the history that you were able to see on the left hand side before, where it was showing me the recent apps that I visited or the frequently used apps. So that will be cleared if you want. Then we got the default values. If I click on default values, so for example, if I scroll down, I'll show you the material management. For example, if you want to make any material type default when you create a material, or if you want to make a plant default, if you want to make a supplier default, purchase organization default, so you can enter the default value here and system will save it. Same thing for the sales organization, distribution channel, division, sales group, you can make a default value. So that's your another user specific setting. And let me go back to the setting again. So that's all. Yes, this one, edit home page. So what edit home page means, that means if you can remove any tile, you can add any other tile which is hidden. For example, if I click on the edit home page, now this in the edit mode, that's an edit mode. Here you can create your own group if you want to call it, and you can add your own favorite, for example, apps. Or you can also remove some apps from here. So I was telling you before that you can remove apps as well from different views, different ways. So here I can, for example, I can remove from here. If I click on this, here you can see, for example, supplier invoice item by account management. If I click on this remove delete button, it's gone from here, right? And then I can save it. It will disappear from my screen. But if you think you accidentally deleted something and you want to reset to the default setting or the original setting coming from the customizing of the catalog and tile groups, then you can click on this reset. If I click on reset, that will show you all the tiles that are by default provided to this role. Like I just removed one and there was another one that I removed before. So now it's showing up 2. So now it's showing up all the default setting, so that you can reset from here like that. So again, I can scroll down and you can see different tile groups, and you can remove it. Also, you can other thing you can also do is, if I scroll up, you can see this option add group. That means between two groups you can add a new group, right? So what that means is, for example, I show you, if I go to the top here, I will create another group. For example, if I go here on the top, so I will try to create on the top. You can do in the middle as well, but I will click on add group. For example, I'll say here, I'll give it a name. I'll say my purchasing. Okay, for example, call whatever, my favorite, whatever you want to call it. So here you can have your favorite transits. So for example, you can create one. So you can say, for example, there are say 4 or 5 apps that you use every day for purchasing. There are another 5 or 6 apps that you use every day for link to SD module. So you can create one for purchasing, one for SD, and you can add up those favorite tiles here. For example, if I click on this plus now, I can add up some tiles that are favorite. So here you can again search, or for example, I can select say this one, this tile, I can select, it will go and add to that screen. Oh, sorry, it's showing you that thing. Let me go back. You need to click on this little icon, add to group. That's done. I selected this one, and probably I can select another one. Say I want to search here, create, for example, purchase order. If I search for it, I can select this one as well. So like you can set any number of them if you want. And once you are done, you can then go back or go to the home screen and now I have those two apps here. You can see it's showing up my purchasing as a customized tile group that's only linked to my ID, and under that I have my favorite tiles that I'm using frequently. So I don't need to scroll down every time I'm using these tiles. I can straight away jump to these favorites one that I use most of the time in a real-time scenario. So that's how you can have your own tile group. If I go back to the setting again, edit, home page, and if I scroll up, there's another thing called my home. This my home will appear only when you link to when you add a app here. So before it wasn't showing up here. If, for example, if I am on this screen, if I scroll up, you can't see anything called on the top. You can't see anything called my home because there isn't any app assigned. So if I assign an app, for example, I want to assign inbox, my inbox on the top. If I search for inbox, if I will select this inbox, and then I go back to the home page, then under that it will show me this home page. So this way you can like see add groups and all that. And if I close it, once I'm done, I can close it. It will save my settings. So here you have you can see now my app tile group here that's showing my inbox, and then I have another one here, my purchasing, that's showing me some apps that I just added. So same way you can add, you can remove stuff from this screen. So you can click on it again, the setting, edit home page, and like that scroll down. So add and remove whatever you like. So you can click, for example, another thing on this screen, for example, I'm on this screen, you can be on any tile group screen, and you want to add, you can again click on the plus sign. If I click on plus sign, you can jump to that screen again, you can add the tiles. I'll go back to the home page, and once you're done, I'll close it. But for now, I will delete this tile group that I just created. So here, just for the training purpose, I'll delete it. I'll leave it for now. Just leave it for now. We'll see later on. So that's it. So now I got two things. I got my inbox and my purchasing. One more thing, let me check if I can show you that as well. Edit home page. You can also drag and drop. For example, the middle one, the second one, contract account governance, I can drag and drop to the say third number, for example, or fourth number, for example. I can drag and drop. It's going too fast for some reasons. So in the mid of these two, I can drag and drop. That's it. Done. Now if I go back, if I close it, if I scroll up, now you can see it was on the second one. See, that is top one. Actually, we added two new ones, but it was on the middle one. Now it's gone to the fourth number, I think. Yes, that's here. So you can drag and drop as per your own choice. So you can have your own personal priority. So that's again the good thing about this Fiori Launchpad, that it provides a lot of customization and personalization option just as an end user. Now we'll talk about the view setting. What is view setting? If I say, when you open when you search for something, doesn't matter you're searching for a vendor, when you're searching for a purchase order or anything like that, like if I jump to the purchase order processing, manage purchase order, and I search for my purchase order, say something like so when you search for something on any screen, it will show you some fields here. So these fields can be customizing. For example, first is showing you the purchase order number, supplier, overdue item, company code, status, and so on. So you can click on this setting button, which is known as view setting. Here you can have, you can select what you want to see, you can unselect what you don't want to see. For example, I want to see created by, currency, and all that. Okay, so I can select, say, created on. I can select created on, and I can remove approver. I don't want to see approver status, or status of this one. Okay, and so the less field we have, the faster it will be. Overdue item, let's leave it like that. And also the thing you can do here is, I can scroll down, you can see all the fields, and if you can't find any field, you can search here as well. For example, I can say I want to search for description. See, description will come up. I can remove it. So these fields you can select here, and then also you can click on this sort tab. You can sort any field. For example, you can sort by created on. The result will be sorted by created on. For example, if I say created by, created on, and I want to sort it by default by created on, and it should be ascending or descending. I can say it should be descending, for example. Then also you can put a filter here. For example, if you want to put a filter for company code or any of these things, you can do it that contains this value, for example, or you can also exclude something, right? Then we go to group tab, and you can group it by company code, group it by created on, stuff like that. So that's how you can do it. So I can go back to the columns and I selected created on, and I deselected some other statuses. So I can say okay. This restore button will move your setting to the default setting. So for now I'll say okay. You will notice that the screen will change. Now I can see what I want to see. That's it. So that's it. So that's the view setting. Or you can also export the data to Excel file. That's again, so any screen, for example, this is a search screen. So this is data. After my search, I can click on this export to spreadsheet. If I click on it, it will then try to export it. I click on it. We need Excel into the system first. Fetching data from the server. So I'll just cancel it. But yeah, here at the bottom you can see it downloaded the file. I can click on that file, and you can see I downloaded the file from there, from the report. Close it. And okay, other thing you can do is you can click on this. There's some other option, like you can click on this plus sign to create purchase order. This copy is deactivated, withdraws from approval, delete is deactivated. It can be activated by the technical consultant if we want. Now here, if you see this little icon which is showing share, if I click on the share, if I click on it, I can send as an email. Okay, if this report I want to send an email, I can click on the send email, and it will try to open the Outlook. I'll cancel it, and then it will create the like a email. It will compose an email, and then you can send the data to the email. Other thing we can do is you can save as tile. So that means, for example, this is my default. This is the report that every time I come to the system, I search for, say, IKO customer, or I search for IKO and with material this, with this plant, and blah blah blah, stuff like that. So there's some default filter. For example, I want to, and next time I want to come, I want the system to save that filter. For example, I can say IKO should be this one, IKO should be here. Let me close it. I say plant is ZIKO and company code is also ZIQ. Not only this, you can add more here as well. For example, if you want to add more company code, I can add say company code say 1000, for example. Here another one, I can add 2 as well, like this. So I'll just keep 1. So you can keep on adding for plant, for material, stuff like that. And if I say go, that will search for all the purchase order within plant ZIQ and the company code ZIQ. Now next time when I come to this screen, I don't want to enter these values in the search field. I want system to remember, and then I can create it as a tile. So I can click on this share button again and save as a tile. If I click on save as a tile, give it a name. So what's the title of the tile? So I can call it say this IKO purchase orders. Okay, you can give it a subtitle if you want. You can give it a description if you want. So I can say IKO open POs. For example, you put a filter for open POs only, and you can assign to a group. For example, you want to link it to which tile group, my group, my purchasing. For example, I can link it to my purchasing that I just created before, and that's it. And I say okay. So now if I go to the home screen again, you will see a new tile, and again I clarify this one that this is only user specific setting, and that is linked to me only, my ID only. So here you can see IKO purchase order. So the description is IKO open PO. So system is refreshing the screen, showing you 6. That means there are 6 PO only. So every time you come to this screen, system will refresh the screen and will tell you how many there are as per the search option that you provided. Straight away I can click on this one, IKO purchase order, and will remember the filter and show you the same screen that we had before. There you go. You can click on this little arrow, and again you have those plant that we entered, your company code entered, like that. So this way you can create as many tiles as you want. So we discussed about the exporting to Excel file. We also discussed about save as a tile. You can save it as a tile. You can send as an email, and that's it. So that's all about this video. So just a recap. So we learned about how to log in and how to reset password. We'll discuss about the home screen tile and tile group, or also known as business group. We also learned about the different user personalization available under the settings, zoom in and zoom out option, object page, my inbox screen, how to export the data to Excel file, view setting, where you can have the columns that you want to display, save the tile option, and email data in a tile. So that's all about this, and thank you very much to watch this.